6, 7 games. You know, we were in a lot of games, but we just weren't putting it all together for a full 90 minutes. We would play great for 45 minutes the first half, and then kind of take our foot off the pedal, thinking we could coast to a win, and which is just never the case in this league. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good players, and you know, when you're not playing at your best, you're gonna let up goals, or not be able to score goals. So we found ourselves in a bit of a hole. That was our own doing at the beginning of the year. So I think with that Minnesota game, we knew we were going to have to bring it that game because they play very well at their home. So going to that game, it was an attitude of just whatever it takes to win. It might not be pretty, but you're going to have to give it everything you possibly have, because we were struggling at that point. And I think we came away with that game with a 2-1 win. And it kind of just lifted our spirits a little bit, and it got everyone in that mindset of it's not about any individual, it's about the team. And when you put 110%, I know it's cliche, but when you do that every single game, your opportunities are going to come for you to shine personally. So if you all work collectively as a team, I think we figured that out in that game. And then I thought after that we found our rhythm, and we went on quite a nice streak there where we didn't lose a game in probably 7, 8 games or something like that. So those are the stretches in the season where you got to go unbeaten, and then you can really move yourself up the table, and I think that's what we did this year. But yeah, that's what they brought me here, to score goals, and not just score goals, but to create chances, and that's how I've grown up playing the game. I've never been a guy to score 20 goals a season, which I would love to do, but it's just not the kind of player that I am. I like to get other people involved, and I like to think that I'm a team player, and I take just as much joy as setting up a goal than scoring a goal, because you're getting other people involved and you're making your team better, and that's what the best players around the world in any league they're doing. They're making their teammates better, and I like to think that that's what I do, and that's what I try to do every game, is to maybe create 1 or 2 chances for myself, but at the same time try to create a chance or 2 for somebody else. Yeah, the second leg was, I've played in some crazy games in my life, but, and the final was pretty crazy too, but that was, up to that point, that was probably the craziest game I ever played in. That was, it was something else to go down 2 goals in the first 25 minutes. Was something that, it was unfortunate, but, at that time, it's now or never, so we knew if we could get 1 back by halftime, we'd be all right, tie game. So we got that goal late in the first half, got to halftime, and had a nice talk from Ricky, and he told us, it's all, the next 45 minutes, you gotta forget about that half, and we wanted to shut them out. I knew if we would shut them out or limit their opportunities, that we could score goals on that team, and we let up a late one from a handball PK by them, but for the most part, we kept them down in that second half, and with our offense, we knew that we were going to score a few goals on them. Yeah, I think after that game, we went back to the locker room in Minnesota, and we kind of, said a few words. Everyone said what they needed to say, and then from that point on, it was just like, all right, we're going to take it 1 practice at a time, not get too frustrated with the score, just knowing that we have 1 more game to make it right. And I thought leading into that game, our practice sessions were great. Everyone was, super positive. No one was, oh, we're down 2 goals, this is going to be really tough. Everyone's like, well, it's now or never, you got to get it done. So that's the attitude we took going in that game, and I think Ricky and Stuart did a great job of keeping our, our heads up, making the practices fun, exciting, and not too dull or anything like that. So going into that game, we were fired up, and we knew we'd have our home crowd behind us, and they really showed up. And right when we walked out of the tunnel to go into that game, you could really hear them, and you could really hear them chanting, and the crowd, you knew, was behind you. So it was all on the players playing in that game to get it done, and we did it. So we got that early goal in that game, and that was huge. That kind of turned the tables and put all the pressure back on them. So they were kind of defending a little bit, and we played them last year in that same kind of situation where it was 1 game. It was the quarterfinal game, but we knew how they were going to play, and I thought we really took it to them, and we tied it up, and then right away they scored So once again, this whole year, no one was pissed off, no one got their heads down. It was just kind of like, all right, here we go again. We're gonna have to come back again. And it's great for Dizzy to get that last goal and came in as a sub, and he was chomping at the bit to get on that field, and just to get him a goal in that situation was just huge for our team. And Shane, was working his butt off the whole night. And I thought it was a little bit of soft red card, but at the same time, you just kind of move on. There's still a couple minutes left in regulation, and then you got overtime. So for us to get frustrated at the ref, or that's just gonna not help our team. So we just kind of kept our heads in the game, and Carl was injured, and he was having a tough time. So everybody knew that. So you just had to pick the player up next to you, and that's what we tried to do throughout that overtime. And then we got it to the penalty kick, and Jeff came up as a legend. So we got so much respect for Jeff and what he does back there, and faces the most shots 2 seasons in a row, and he's got one of the best goals against average in the league. So that says something to what he's doing, and we see it every day, but it's good that he's getting the recognition that he deserves. I know that Fafa got a bouncing ball, and I just tried to make a run because I knew he could hit that ball over their defender. And once he hit it, it was bouncing in a weird way, whereas if I would have let it bounce one more time, the goalie probably would have crushed me and got the ball. But I tried to catch it right as it took a bounce. I tried to catch it, and I did look up right before he was coming out, and I knew it was going to be almost impossible for me to chip it over the goalie and get it in the goal with all their defenders running back towards the goal, because it was going to have to be a high looper. So I just tried to get it over the goalie, and I knew, it was the last couple minutes of the game. I knew we would have players, crash in the net. So honestly, I just tried to get it over the goalie. I tried to get it as close to the goal as possible. Luckily, Dizzy was backing me up, and he just kind of, right when I hit it over the goalie, I saw him rushing in, and I knew he was going to get it before, because that's the kind of player he is. He's a scrapper, and he's a poacher. And, I wasn't really trying to score. I was just trying to get it over the goalie. Well, to the fans, I think we're building something great here, and I think it's going to continue next year. I know a lot of guys that I've talked to are coming back. We all feel like we still have something to prove, because this season wasn't, we didn't win every single game. We lost games, we went on bad streaks, so guys were in and out of the lineup, so everybody knows they need to improve. Myself, I need to improve, maybe come into the season a little more fitter, a little more sharp, and there's going to be a target on our back now, so I think individually every single player knows that they're going to have to work harder this offseason than they did last offseason. So I know we got a great group of guys, and to the fans, they were absolutely phenomenal, sticking with us, through the beginning of the season when things were tough. We were coming out, and you could still hear them, and you could still feel them behind you, and that's such a huge factor going into a game. So I just hope they'd enjoyed the season, enjoyed the championship, and I hope they can soak it in. But we're all thinking February 1st now, so that's got to be behind us, and we got to move on. And I know our fans will be behind us every step of the way.